You know, on a total person, we grow up being told we should wait until we're ready before we help anyone else. And ready? What does that even mean to you? Some people think it means being healed. Others think calm or being strong, even being perfect. And yet, life doesn't wait until you feel ready, and neither do people standing in front of you. There's this idea flowing around that you need to be completely put together before you can guide or support someone else. That if you're still struggling, you should sit out of the game. But life doesn't work that cleanly. You see, when the waves hit, steadying someone else's boat can be the very thing that keeps yours from tipping. So, you don't wait to be ready. You learn to move together, even when it's messy. Because healing shows up through connection, far more than isolation. So stop waiting for the water to be calm. Learn to row in the storm.
Your storm and mine can walk as one. Strength is shared until it's done. Healing and helping, shaping my will. I am a total person today.
Let me be real with you. As a young adult, I have helped others long before I had myself figured out. My direction wasn't set. My meaning wasn't even clear. I was just trying to understand who I was becoming. I didn't always know what I was doing. I would read, study. I tried to shape my life into something steady. And through all that searching, I never stopped showing up for people. Because I never believe you need to have everything solved before you can lend a hand. And if you actually wait until you were perfect, nobody would ever help anyone. Look, not everybody is meant to lead, but everyone can help. Even if you're still building yourself, you can still lift somebody else. Because you don't have to be ready. You just have to be willing. And here's the only real rule. Don't hurt people just because you're hurting. Help them. Not only for them, but because at times, helping them is what steadies you. So let's get honest about what's happening inside you when you're trying to help, while you're still carrying your own weight. Most people think helping is only a moral thing, a character thing, a good person thing. But it's also a nervous system thing. Because when you're stuck in stress, you don't just think differently. You speak differently. You interpret differently. You react differently. You start looking for problems. You start bracing. You start tightening up. And there's a part most people miss. You can want to help someone and still end up hurting them. If you're leaking stress into your tone. So maybe the real question isn't, am I ready to help? Maybe it's, what am I bringing into the room when I help? Because you can be saying the right words and still bringing pressure with your tone. And if you've ever been on the receiving end of that, you know what I mean. It feels like advice, but it lands like judgment. It feels like support, but it lands like control. So, what if before you step in, you just pause long enough to ask yourself, am I trying to help them? Or am I trying to quiet my own discomfort? Am I actually listening? Or am I waiting for my turn to fix it? And if they don't take what I'm offering, do I stay steady? Or do I get annoyed? Because that's the story. If you get irritated when they don't follow your advice, maybe it wasn't help. Maybe it was a need to manage the outcome. I'm not saying that to shame you. I'm saying it because I've done it. I stepped in thinking I was being supportive, but underneath it all, I needed things to go a certain way. And the moment they didn't, my patience got short. My tone changed. So maybe the cleanest form of helping is simpler than we think. Maybe it's not a speech. Maybe it's not a plan. Maybe it's a question that gives them their own power back. Like, do you want comfort right now? Or do you want ideas? And if they say comfort, don't fix it. You stay. And if they say ideas, don't flood them. You offer one thought and let them decide. And if they say neither, maybe the lesson is to stay kind and stop chasing. Now, Dr. Lisa Miller, author of The Awakened Brain, spent years studying what happens inside the brain when we narrate our lives. There's two kinds of stories here. You have your stress stories and your connection stories. The stress stories, well, that's your craving and fear circuits. We call it the survival loop. It's the part of the brain that's always scanning, bracing, tightening. We call it the achieving brain. That's the inner storm, the mental overdrive you feel before anything outside even moves. And yet, when people talk about connection, meaning, something changes. Those circuits quiet down and another system wakes up. The ventral attention network, which is your connection, your awareness brain. That's the part of the brain that helps you see clearly. It stays open. It solves without panic. So helping while you're still healing, it's not just emotional. It's physical, biological. Your brain can shift from survival into resilience. And here's another truth. We can't help someone who doesn't want to be helped. You can offer a hand. You can open a door, but you can't drag someone through it. And if you try, you don't just exhaust yourself. You start carrying a storm that was never yours to carry. So the point of helping while you're still healing isn't rescuing people who keep refusing the rope. It's showing up for the ones who actually want to be helped, the ones who are trying, who are open enough to meet you halfway, because that's the kind of help that does something back to you. It sharpens you. It gives you clarity. It shows you what matters. It teaches you your purpose in real time and not in theory. And yet, you still keep your boundaries. If someone doesn't want it, you don't punish them. You don't abandon them. You just stop chasing them. You stay supportive, but you keep a little distance for your own sanity. You stay close enough that they can reach you, but far enough that you don't have to drown with them. That's not being cold. It's just being clean and just wisdom. Now, what stays with me is simple. Helping while you're healing isn't about having the right words. It's about the state you bring into the room. Because you can care and still sound sharp if you're caring too much. So maybe the awareness checks is this. When I step in, am I steady or am I braced? Am I listening or am I trying to control the outcome? And if I'm giving support, or am I leaking pressure in the moment? If you're honest, you can usually feel it before you speak. If your chest is tight, you're not fully listening yet. If your jaw is clenched, you're gripping too tightly. If you're talking fast, you're trying to get rid of the discomfort. So maybe the goal isn't to stay perfect all the time. Maybe it's to slow down enough that your help doesn't feel like pressure. Because when you bring steadiness, people don't feel managed. They feel safe. Now, emotional intelligence isn't pretending you're calm. It's buying yourself a few seconds before your reaction. That tiny pause changes everything. It can stop an argument, turn a mistake into growth, save a relationship from words you can't take back. So the goal isn't control, it's clarity. And for me, the biggest shift was realizing I don't have to win every storm. I just have to stay steady enough to see it clearly. That's where clarity lives. Not in controlling everything, but not losing yourself in the heat of it. Here, there's power in saying, I'm not okay. And I can still show up. That is not weakness. That is courage. And most people think leadership, parenting, friendship requires being bulletproof. But what people really need is honesty. To see you standing in the storm, still showing up anyway. That gives them hope. Now, back when I was a project manager, we had to hire 3 new employees. Good people, eager, but zero experience. I trained them daily, taught them systems, claims, and basic of the jobs. All while carrying my own workload. All while wrestling with my own storms. There were days I thought I could barely hold myself together. How can I hold them too? But I couldn't let them sink. So I showed up, even hurting, even overwhelmed. And helping them changed me. It sharpened me as a mentor. It made me a better leader. It gave me skills I still use. And in the end, all 3 left, not because of me, but because the system itself was burning people out. That part stung. But it didn't erase the truth. Helping them showed me my limits and my strengths. It woke me up to the fact that I could support others and grow myself at the same time. That experience shaped me into who I am now. Calmer, more awake. And it's not just work. It's being a father of 3 boys is in its own storm. No matter how heavy my chaos gets, they still need their father. They still need presence. That's the truth for any parent listening. Parenting is a storm, but it's also the most important place to practice being awake. For too long, I overreacted. I took things too seriously. I let my kids see me lose control. Over the time, I learned something simple. I can't control the storm. I can control how I respond. And that shift, that waking up, has been one of the most important lessons of my life. So let's slow it down. Ask yourself, who in your life needs you right now, even if you're not 100%? How might helping them help you see your own strengths more clearly? What would it look like to stop waiting to be ready and showing up as you are? And maybe ask this too. Am I stuck in my reaction loop, scanning, firing, restless? Or am I pausing, breathing, letting that other system wake up? The one that notices clearly and opens me to connection. Because storms don't wait, but neither should we. Now, when I sit with everything I've learned about serving others while carrying my own storm, the message is simple. Just spoken in different languages. Act with calm when duty calls. Give without drowning. Stay steady. Enough inside that your presence becomes the anchor, not the wave. And every lesson points back to this. Healing doesn't stop you, but you stabilize within yourself, steadies the people closest to you. And when your presence shifts, when your energy stops reacting and starts responding, your home changes, your work changes, your relationship softens. That calm spreads. So the truth underneath it is plain and simple. Healing, waking up, leadership, they begin right where you are. One steady breath, one grounded act. And from here, it grows outwards. That's the truth. Helping others while you're still healing isn't reckless. It's real. It reminds us healing isn't solo, it's shared. And often lifting someone else's is what helps you rise too. That's the heart of it. Now, next time we'll go deeper into emotional intelligence. What this means to stay calm in the middle of the storm, not only for yourself, but for the people who depend on you. That's where we're heading. All right, before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. What storms are you walking through right now? Who are you helping while you're still healing? Share in the comments, send me a message, or join me in a future episode if you want to bring your story to the table. Because this podcast isn't just me talking. It's us. A space for honesty, for healing, for strength. So don't wait to be ready. Show up. And together, we'll keep paddling. You're not alone in the storm. I'm Chris. This is A Total Person. Talk soon.
I breathe in now and let go of fear. The storm may rise, but I still stay. I hold my ground and find my way. Each step is mine, no wave can sway. I am a